What is up, everyone? It's Dan. Welcome back to another episode of Guitar Talk. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, roll that intro. Hey everyone, so today we are looking at the new plugin from ML Soundlab, the Mikko 2 plugin, which is a plugin that lets you create your own IRs. For those of you that don't know what IRs are, they are essentially captures of different speakers, cabs, microphones, all of that kind of stuff that you can then load into other bits of software or hardware so that you can take a direct sound from an amp and then put it into your IR and make whatever kind of speaker sound that you want. So going through what I'm using today, I have got this MacBook Pro Studio One. All of the electric guitar tones that I've recorded today are on my 79 Fender Strat with bare knuckle 63 pickups. If we jump into the screen now, we can see I've got a track here that I've recorded, which is an old track of mine. I've re-recorded it today, and all of the electric guitar sounds are just direct tones straight from the Fractal FM3 with no cab sounds on there at all. So if we take a quick listen to how it sounds without any electric guitars. Long-term viewers of the channel may recognize that track from the demos that I do. It's an old song of mine recorded years ago, never properly recorded, so obviously I just use it for demoing stuff because it's a nice, clear, easy song. So I thought, why not do it for this? So to start with, let's take a listen to one of the tracks here. Let's go for a Dirty Dumble and take a listen to how that sounds without any kind of cab emulation on there. Pretty bad. That is how it would sound if you took a Dumble and didn't plug it into a guitar cab, into a guitar speaker, which is shaped frequency-wise to take guitar sounds, didn't mic it up or anything. If you just plug it directly into a PA speaker, a full range speaker, that is how it would sound. Now, what we will do here is, just to show you straight away how powerful this is let's drag an instance of Mikko 2 on there. It is loaded up. You will see me go to this factory preset, Boomer Blend, quite a lot because I find it is a really good starting point. And then if we play the track now, just like that, you can see it sounds like a guitar going through a cool guitar amp. Now, let's take a quick look at this bit of software and what it does, a quick rundown. There's not much to show you. It's just really, really powerful and really, really simple. So obviously we've got a preset section here where we can go through and pick a few different options just to get you started off straight away with no messing around. We've got the cab section here, which is a speaker and all of these mics that you can just drag off if you don't want them, or you can just add some on there as well. All really straightforward. Over here we've got speakers. So these are all different cabs that have been sampled for this plugin. You can see they are kind of roughly named for copyright reasons probably, and also to keep it short. I'm assuming this is Bogner, Fender, Marshall, Orange, Vox, loads of different classic cabs in here with different speakers. So let's pick something like a Marshall Greenback. And then we've got several different microphones in here as well. So Dynamic 57, that is obviously a Shure SM57. You can drag that around. So you see, as I drag this around, these controls down here are changing as well. You can obviously change this with these as well, drag it in and out, tilt the microphone, angle the microphone wherever you want to angle it on the speaker. And then we've got a phase section here. Phase, so if you record audio that's in and out of phase and it all sounds really bad because they're not in phase with each other, you've got this tool here so you can flip the signal if you want. That's all pretty self-explanatory for those of you that know what you're doing with recording. So let's go a little bit more. Oh, and then also you've got this export function. So once you've made an IR and you are happy with it, if you want to, you can export the IR. You can then load it back into other instances of the software. You can load it into other softwares that support IRs, and you can load it into hardware as well. So I can load it into Fractal software and load that into my Fractal. So if I make an awesome IR on here and I want to use it live and use the exact tone that I recorded live, I can then load it onto my Fractal, take that out and gig it all over the world. Really, really useful, really, really powerful. So let's take a quick listen again. I'm just going to loop this section here. So that's looped. What I will do is I will just go back to my classic boomer blend here. I'm going to move these mics around so that you can hear the power that just moving these mics around has. If you've used ML products before, then it's pretty similar to the cab section on the ML Soundlab amped plugins, except a lot more powerful. Still really easy to use, but a lot more powerful. So let's just play the track and I'll move it around. So you can see they're really powerful. I'm probably going to use that word a lot, powerful, because this is a really powerful tool. It's amazing what you can do with this. And just so you can see here, if I move these around, you can see you've got the EQ balance of the IR that you're making. Once you've kind of settled in there, if you see like a peak or something that is a little bit spiky that you can't get rid of by just moving things around and you don't want it there, you can just click on these points and drag it down, drag this bit back up. So you can really, really shape the sound of the IR that you're making and do all kinds of things with it. And obviously, as you saw there, you've got a mix. So you can select different microphones here and blend in and out microphones as you want. That's really powerful. Now, as I said, I'm using this with sounds that I recorded with Fractal. I will just quickly bring up the Fractal software a second. So here we can see it on the screen, the Dumble sound that I used, drive pedal there for the dirtier stuff, and on the clean channel as well, I just turned that off, and you can see the cab section is turned off there. Now, I love the Fractal stuff. It is world class in terms of the sounds that you can get. And one of the drawbacks I do find with the fractal, is great if you know what you're doing, but it can still be overwhelming even if you know what you're doing, is if we go into the cab section and look at cabs, look at all of these cabs that are now available in the fractal. There are so many. It's overwhelming, and it's not like there's a graphic so you know what's going on, you know exactly what's been mic'd up. I know the sound is the thing that matters, but you know, for me, I kind of want to know what's going on. I want to know what the cab is and where it was mic'd and all this other stuff. It's really powerful, but it's not exactly the most inspiring thing to look at. It's great when you dial in which cab you want, but the other drawback of this is if you record with this, it's all set, it sounds fantastic, and you can mix it just like any kind of mic'd up amp that you have recorded. But if you record and then afterwards you say to yourself, hey, you know what, I really wish I didn't use that classic Marshall amp with the greenbacks. I wanted a bit more mids. Maybe I should have used some creambacks. Maybe I used the wrong mic. Now, you can, if you've got a clean DI'd signal, you can reamp with the fractal, but it's a little bit of a faff. Whereas with this, if you want to change the mic and the cab that you use to record with, it's all there, and you've just got to click on this and you can just change it on the fly for when you're mixing. So again, there's that word again, it's a really powerful mixing tool, and you don't have to use it to mix. As I say, you can use this just for making your own IRs, but it's just a plug-in to use on your mixes. And you can see down here, obviously I've got loads and loads of tracks on here, 2 different instances of drums running, acoustic, bass, loads of stuff in there, and you can see the performance is not even really taxing at all, and you can keep an eye on that as I add more instances of this as we go through. So obviously if we just go back to straightforward boomer blend where I say I normally start, I'll chuck in the other track here, which is just the same kind of rhythm, just slightly different chords, a bit higher up, just to add a bit of a bigger sound. You can hear that nasty tone in there again. Straight away gone, sounds like an amp. So there we go, some slightly crunchy sounds. Let's move over to a clean section so you can hear again. So you can see I've not added any kind of EQ or anything to these guitar tracks. It is just straight what comes out the fractal with no cab block selected. It just kind of sounds like a bit of a rubbish acoustic, because obviously it's a Dumble, so it's just a big clean sounding amp head. I've got a compressor on there which is just kind of evening out the electric tone a little bit. It's not really doing much at all, but again, let's just drag Mikko 2 on there while it's playing and we'll see the difference it makes. straight away it goes from sounding like a rubbish acoustic to sounding like an actual guitar going through an actual amp, going through an actual speaker. Here's that phrase again, really, really powerful tool. I think people don't quite get just how important cab selection, mic selection, speaker selection. It's probably one of the biggest, most important parts of your signal chain. It's almost more important than the amp selection itself. I mean, obviously, if you want an amp that does overdrive and all that stuff, then that is important. But the character and sound that the right speaker, the right microphone, put in the right place, the impact that has on your tone is massive. And the fact that they've managed to model that so well and put it into a relatively inexpensive plugin is just absolutely fantastic to me. This thing is, I almost feel a little bit useless demoing this because it's so easy to use that I feel like I'm not showing off the power of what this does, when in reality it's just that easy to use. So let's just put this in context of the mix again. I'll move it around so you can hear exactly what it's doing, and then I'll throw in the other clean track, which is just some kind of harmonics to accentuate the rest of the clean tone, and I'll chuck the ML on there and you can see again what it does. So again, easy as that. And I know I mentioned it before, but if I really love the sound that that gives in the mix for this song, and I want to take that sound out and gig it, then obviously I can export the IR and then put that into Fractal software, load it into my Fractal and take that IR out, gigging all over the place. I can use it on other recordings, do what I want with it. So obviously that's a little clean section there. Let's move over to here where we've got a little bit of like a lead build up in the song. Sounds like a really cheap, nasty distortion pedal. This is a plexi, so let's just put the Mikko sound on there. And then we'll put in the other track as well. obviously apologies for those of you that are listening at home that are like, oh my God, that buzzy sound about the cab is so loud and annoying. When you add the cab, it refines things. So obviously if I turn down the buzzy noise, I add the cab in, you won't be able to hear the cab properly and it'll just be a faff. So apologies to those of you whose ears I've ruined by not having the cab on there, but it does demonstrate the big difference that this plugin makes. As I said, relatively inexpensive. You can download it from their website. You can try it out for free without buying it. Obviously there may be some limitations on there where it might cut the sound after a little bit, but it's for the power that this thing has, where you can just use it for a mixing tool, you can use it with other bits of software, you can load it into your Fractal, probably your Helix and all that kind of stuff as well. It is really unbelievable just how good this is. So if you're into recording and stuff and you've got the capability, if you've got something like an aux box or a direct load box where you can plug a Marshall head or something directly in and record, and you want to give different cabs a go, give it a try, see what you think. And I've got loads of instances of the 6 of these loaded up now in this track, and you can see the performance meter there. What it's doing to my MacBook hasn't really changed at all. So there we go, that is kind of like a demo, brief rundown review of the Mikko 2 plugin, IR creator, speaker, emulator, whatever you want to call it. It does so many cool things in such a small, easy to use, simple package. As I said, stupidly easy to use, recommend it. So top marks from me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, check out the ML Soundlab stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.